Welcome back. This is Proof Point, the podcast by Caribbean User Experience Q, episode 10, the finale. In part 1, under the topic, the Battleground, broadcast media versus new media, we got personal with Jade as she opened up about her life's journey to broadcasting career, the current broadcast landscape, and the formula for nurturing their growing audiences. We also touched on storytelling and what all the fuss is about trusting the science. Today, Jade will share her vision for the future of broadcast media and the lessons she learned along the way. In your quest to find the truth, hmm, I know that some media houses have been sued. Is that the same for NBC?
I think I'll use this platform to say that to the viewers, when a company gets sued, when a media house gets sued, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're wrong. That does not necessarily mean that they've done anything illegal, um, or they've gathered information illegally. Um, a lot of the time, and I say this with confidence because I believe that NBC has been sued more than any other media house in St. Lucia. Um, but what are the results? Where are the court cases? How many of these suits have materialized into something where the people who have sued NBC can say and quantifiably state, yes, NBC was wrong. As a news station, we are fearless, yes, because we are armed with the truth. When we make an error, we come out and we say, we made an error, we apologize. But if we don't have anything to apologize for, if we are working in the interest of the truth, will not always be friends, or we will not always be allies with the politicians or with the businessmen, because sometimes they do wrongs and we have to, the onus is on us to expose it no matter what. So that is why there needs to be a clear distinction between the press and any other entity in St. Lucia. It's a running joke now at MDC. Whenever we see somebody coming in and we're unfamiliar with the person, we run to the Ronnie and say, "What's that in your hand? Are you here to sue us?" And it's so common.
Now, Jade, so over the past 2 years, NBC has shown great stride in its connection with the public. So much so you've seen the numbers escalating. You have people interacting during the news broadcast. People give their views, they give their opinions. Having all those numbers, how do you ensure that their voices are heard? What systems or structures do you think is necessary to keep the engagement going?
NBC is unlike any other TV station because we're unafraid to connect with people in a different way. Um, we call our viewers realists because they tell it like it is. St.
Yeah.
Lucians are very, very spirited people. And you have to, as a broadcast station, you have to accept all areas, all facets, all demographics of St. Lucians. And then you need to respect them. So you don't only accept them, you respect them and you give them their platform. In order to maintain your viewership, you need to ensure that there is quality control across the board. Some people would use FNOSFAC and say, oh, it's too crass. But then it's not for you. But it is for a significant portion of our population. And those are the people that we appeal to. And there are many people who are coming on board with NBC Prime, coming on board with Zafeno. And even those, even the detractors, even the critics, they still watch. So we still have to give the critics something to watch. If our those people who disagree with our message, if they said, okay, that's it, I'm not watching these people again, and they never tune in, our numbers would decrease. So the aim is not necessarily to make everybody happy. Yes, we make our realists happy, but the realists are also the people who criticize. So we need to ensure that we keep pricking them and we keep putting the content out there, that content that they will be able to oppose. We live in a democratic society. We need to ensure that there's a platform where people can come to and express their views without fear or favor. They need to ensure and continue ensuring that our viewers are respected. So our NBC, we just launched NBC Community. That's a WhatsApp platform now. And in NBC Community, we share content from Real FM, NBC Prime, and all of the shows. And everybody is free to join. It's also important to keep your ear to the ground. It's also important as news readers, as broadcasters, as journalists, senior correspondents, producers, that you do not develop this air of superiority about you. Like I said earlier, I have a whole other life. When I take off my jacket and take off my makeup, which I hate wearing. I go to Canaries, I go to the river, I'm with the people. So we need to ensure that listen to your viewers. So the viewers can always call NBC and they'll say, I want to talk to Jade. And then I'm on the phone with them sometimes for 20 minutes and they're going on and on and on about a neighbor or an issue or the hospital. And we try to do this problem solving. So it's not always about creating the drama. It's about allowing for and creating a safe environment for your viewers, a community, making them feel part of something. People like to feel part of community. They like to know that their voice is heard and they like to know that they're listened to. And that is what we do at NBC.
Tell me about what is NBC's thoughts with research and data? How does it help you?
Understood the importance and the relevance of thorough research, the importance of ensuring that all angles are explored. And the only way that you do that is by conducting your research. Now, when I say research, people would shy away from it because they think it's boring. The statistics are boring. But research doesn't necessarily have to take place in a library or in the National Archives, albeit very important. Your research is on the ground. Your research is by the market. Your research is by speaking to other colleagues who know more, who are better informed, who are better equipped to handle subject matters, right? Now, when we're talking, let me touch on COVID. They say trust the science. And you see, the thing is, we get so used to our little jargons and our little colloquialisms. So when somebody says follow protocols, you're saying, yes, I can follow the protocols. When someone says trust the science, you say, oh, what is that? And then you start to ridicule. However, trusting the science, following the protocols are the same thing. It's one and the same. Washing your hands, keeping your distance, covering your face. That's the science of COVID, of getting rid of COVID, essentially. So what we do now is go to the Ministry of Health, for example, dealing with COVID. You go to the Ministry of Health and you speak to Fennel. Fennel, can I get the statistics on COVID from last year to now? And you include that, you incorporate that not just in your news report, you include that in the entire message on your TV station. So radio, TV, everywhere, on the ground.
I'm hearing you clearly, but what do you say to that public person who thinks that they're expert now because you know information is on Google, although they make reference to the World Health Organization and the CDC, and they believe they're getting conflicting details from these organizations. How do you now deliver based on that perception?
I think that is a very, very interesting question because it's something that we're faced with every day. We come head to head with it, especially on social media. We have some social media doctors and lawyers and professors. But what we need to do, first of all, I would say stay calm. It doesn't, I think there's always some merit in spirited debates. I love a good debate. However, you need to have that knowledge. So when somebody comes to you and you know, hey, that's not right, that doesn't sound quite right, you do what you do, what you would have done at university, what you would have done at secondary school, what you would have done at college. You present the evidence and then you quote your source, the resource. So you say, hey, Jane Doe, this is the information from the CDC. This is the website. This is the date that it was published. And this is what was said. Conversely, this is what you're seeing. And this is how I've debunked it by using evidence to support my claims and to support my news report or to support my show. That's how you go about doing it. So being in the media, you are very responsible for people who are knowledgeable, and you're responsible for those who are ignorant of the facts. People who are ignorant of the facts should not be shunned. They should not be shunned into some obscurity. They should not be held in Facebook jail. People who ignore the facts should always be allowed the opportunity to still voice their opinion. They still have an opinion. It's just not correct. It is your responsibility now as a media worker to correct them and to stay calm while doing it.
What do you think the future of broadcasting will look like in the next 5 years?
I think we will continue along this vein where we gravitate toward social media, technology, more technology. We're slowly but surely saying goodbye to traditional news being delivered in a traditional way. Only will we gravitate and will we evolve with the tech world, but we will also evolve and become more confident and create a platform, create a space where young people believe and feel safe in developing and honing their craft in an environment that is conducive for them to do so. So it's a time in media where media workers are actually getting their voice. In the next 5 years, I hope in this time that the Media Association of St. Lucia, we can see that a reemergence of it. I hope that media workers find their confidence again. I hope they take a page out of our book and they are unafraid to speak up and speak out against injustices across any kind of industry, with the politicians, with the police, you name it. With the everyday person. I hope that media workers find their voice again. It was very difficult as a woman in media. Not only would the men not listen to you because, hey, you're a woman. 2, you're young. 3, what do you know? You also had women fighting against each other in the media. We don't really get that anymore. It's okay to claim your space, and it's okay to be a confident woman. It's okay to have a voice that is louder than the men. And when I say louder, I don't mean in terms of how loud it is in your ear, but speak on subject matters that are pertinent to you, to your community. Something may go into your community and work on issues. Volunteer your time, give your time to these people. And the way that you give your time to the people of St. Lucia as a media worker is by telling their stories. It's what we do. We're storytellers. So we need to ensure that we tell the right stories, and we can be the instructors of change only if we have the confidence to do so.
I will say something. Do you think that you are the bulldog for society? Would that be the right title? Would do you think so? I mean, really? Because some people, the same way they can approach you on the street and think that in that moment, right there and then, they feel so comfortable to let it out and let you know of all their peeves and discomforts and all the injustices. Do you think that you're the bulldog for society?
It's a name that a few of my media workers would have called me in the past. I'm a no-nonsense kind of person. I'm very much a people's person. I don't want people to get that twisted. But for me, I believe in speaking your truth. I believe that people should be unafraid to be themselves. In order to be in this industry, you need to be tough. You need to be tough. You need to ask the tough questions. And when the people come at you, you need to remain calm. You need to have a sense of calm about you, but you also need to be very confident and stand up for yourself. I think loyalty is very big, and that's something that I teach. That's something that I preach. Loyalty is big in our industry.
What are some of the key lessons that you've learned?
Some of the key lessons that I've learned, and I will say this, one of the main lessons I learned was in 2016. 2015, I became the press secretary to the Prime Minister. Still media, but a different.
And for the benefit of our audience, we are talking in the time of Dr. Kennedy
Yes,
Anthony.
I'm talking about the great Dr. Kennedy. I'm not being objective there at all. But yes, I'm speaking about him. He called me into his office and he offered me a job. He offered me this job, and I ensured that I took the job. I was very scared. We lost the election. Of course, I had to vacate the office. But at that time, of course, I'd lost my job. I'd lost many things in that year. And it was a very depressing time for me. I think I went through about 1.5 to 2 years of a depression. Coming back into the media, what I learned is that where you are is not where you will stay. Your current situation is not your constant situation, your forever situation. It's about your mindset. So things may not be moving for you, but your mindset must always say, hey, I know things are going to get better and I'm working toward it. I cannot work today. I need a week, I need a month, I need a day, I need 24 hours. But you need to take care of your inner self the most. You must believe in something bigger than yourself. You must believe that your current situation will not be your forever situation. That you have a vision, a clear journey. Like you know where you want to go, right? You want to become an anchor. Okay, this is my path. And please, there'll be detractors all the time. People will say, what qualifies her to have that job? What qualifies him to be in that position? Close your ears to the nonsense and focus. Like what Jade has just here said to me, stay noise proof and focus. And that is one of my many mantras. Jade, stay noise proof and focus. So that's what I would say to people.
I like taking the little nuggets at the end just to close off on the episode. So I love that nugget. And it was noise proof and focus. And I love that. So thank you so much, Jade, for this. We so appreciate it. Okay.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you,
Welcome.
Jade, for sharing and spending time with us. Thank you for watching. News Experience is live. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to follow us for future updates.